Hey, what is up, guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG. In today's video, guys, what I have for you, we're going to be taking a look at a deck you can build if you were to take two of the Cinderace theme decks and combine them. Now, I just want to say real quick, guys, I said this in Inteleon and Boom. I am only using cards included in the Cinderace theme deck. I am not using any outside cards, period. I know there has been some confusions on that. I have seen some very stupid comments held for review on those videos, and I don't know if they're trolling. I don't know if they're just flat out dumb, but apparently the fact that it's in the thumbnail, I say it in the video, and it's in the title. Wow. But anyway, guys, this deck's kind of a special case. Opposed to the other two, I have a lot to say about what you can do to this deck, and I'll kind of get to that more in the gameplay. But yeah, this deck here is a very special case, I think. We're going to go ahead and hop right into it here. I think there is three different Cinderace in this set, if I'm not mistaken. I believe. So honestly, as far as like what you guys can do with this deck, the ability one's not bad. You can also just kind of go with whichever one you like, but I'll get to cards you can add in because there is a lot of them. But Cinderace has Flame Cloak for 40, and you attach a Fire Energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then it has Bright Flame for 160. Flip a coin if tails, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. Not the best, but it's not too bad. At least its first attack has synergy and allows you to build energy back up if you flip tails on the second attack. But we are running a 4-4-4 line of it because, of course, there's not too much to do with the theme deck. So automatically, I would just recommend uh, just Rare Candy. It would be great because you can just drop some Raboot, maybe like one or two Raboot, and then you can drop the Sudowoodo, add in like 4 Rare Candy, and then bam, there you go. Pretty good there. Now, for secondary attacker, I didn't really like anything in that deck except for Ninetales. And that's just because it's pretty much Cinderace in a sense. So it has Flame Cloak just like Cinderace, but instead of 40, it's going to do 30. And then you attach a Fire Energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then the second attack, Fire Main for 70. Not the best, so I would really recommend swapping this out for a better secondary attacker, like maybe the Arcanine that's really good, or you can just swap it out for something that's like really generic. You could even swap this out for Snorlax VMAX if you want to get like super crazy with it. That is an option. Okay, my apologies. My puppy really wanted to get in my room. So anyway, we're gonna hop right back into this. Next up for Pokemon, we have Sudowoodo. Has 2 attacks, double draw. You draw 2 cards and then flail. This card is in here literally because I needed to fill space, and yeah, I would definitely take this out for something else. Just immediately. Now for the supporters here, I'm going to start off with this one. So Betty Bead, whatever its name is, you attach a basic energy card from your hand to one of your bench Pokemon. Swap this out and bump it to 4, but yeah, swap this out for Welder. Add in 4 Welder. Take something else out, but Welder 1,000 times better than this card. Just for this deck, it is so much better. Next up, we have Professor's Research. You discard your hand and draw 7. I just included this in here at 4 because it is the best supporter. Now, whenever you get the welders and such in here, I don't know how you want to kind of balance that out and fix it, but you guys can definitely do something there. Next up, we have Hop. I would swap this out for a more consistent card. It only allows you to draw 3. And Welder, like you attach 2 energy, and it's just so much better. Next up, we have Kid. I would recommend swapping this out for item cards that search out Pokemon, so that way you're not using your supporter up for the turn just to search out one Pokemon. But Kid just allows you to search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it in your hand. Like I said, just Evolution Incense, Pokemon Communication, Quick Ball, just way better cards just because they don't take up your supporter for the turn. And then you can use multiple in a turn. Speaking of searching Pokemon, Great Ball is another card you guys can swap out if you want to swap it out. It's not a bad card. It's just there's other stuff in there that can just specifically grab certain Pokemon. Great Ball just allows you to look at the top 7 and then reveal a Pokemon you find there and add it to your hand. So you can go in there and grab something very specific, bleh, or you can just kind of bank on hitting the right thing. So yeah, that's why that's in there. We need some type of searching. But also, along with these supporters, we have 2 Pokegear. This allows you to look at the top 7 cards, reveal a supporter card you find there, and put it in your hand. If you guys are going to run Welder, I would really recommend trying to get your hands on 2 more of these. Just that way you can look at the top 7 and see if you can't pull a Welder there. And I'll get to the more... I will really break down everything you can put in this deck in the gameplay video, because there's a lot to talk about. But we also have Ordinary Rod. My dog brought me a very loud toy, so I'm going to try to hold the squeaker here and hope that she doesn't get it. But Ordinary Rod, choose one or both. Shuffle up to 2 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck. And then you can also shuffle up to 2 basic energy cards from your discard pile into your deck. You can choose one or both, either one works. But yeah, this is just a really good way to recover cards. I actually got 4 of those in the mail today. But also we have Pokemon Catcher in here. I just put this in here so that way you can bring stuff up. You could take this out, you can leave it in, it doesn't really matter, but it just allows you to bring up a Pokemon. You got to flip forward, obviously, but yeah, that's why that's in here. Now we have Switch. This gives you some extra flexibility to work with. You know, you just don't have to like burn your energy to retreat, pun intended. And now we're going to round out the deck with 15 fire energy. So yeah, I'm going to get to really breaking down everything you can put in this deck because there's a lot to talk about. But guys, I worked with what I could work with. Theme decks are kind of built to where you can take stuff out, add stuff in. I really wish it was kind of like Dragon Ball Super and Yu-Gi-Oh, to where if you buy a couple of their like structure theme decks, whatever, you would have a great deck just immediately. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so yeah, you just buy, like, I think it's Yu-Gi-Oh, you buy 3 and you have a good deck. So, or I think it's Dragon Ball Super, you just buy 2. So that's what I was kind of hoping for in the future. We're getting there. They're adding staples and good cards in and such, but one day maybe we'll be able to just buy a couple theme decks and have like a really solid deck. But yeah. So anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get to the gameplay, and I'll kind of break everything down for you. All right, so the gameplay is not very long, but I feel like this deck is actually something that is a little bit of an untapped potential type of thing. This deck is very different from the Inteleon and the Rillaboom, just because of the fact that there is a whole lot you can do with this deck. This deck has a bunch of potential. So the gameplay really is to showcase what you could do to make this deck better. So obviously I talked about Welder in the deck profile section of this video. But I'm going to get to like some more cards. So there is a really, really solid fire engine out there, ladies and gentlemen. You have cards like Welder. You have cards like Fiery Flint. You have cards like Fire Crystal. Now, Fiery Flint you actually get at Pokemon leagues. You go to league and you can get Fiery Flint. So that's like super easy. If you guys need to find a league around your area, you can go do that on Pokemon.com. Fire Crystal, I don't think is too expensive. Fire Crystal allows you to get 3 fire energies and add them to your hand. Fiery Flint allows you to discard 2 cards from your hand and search your deck for 4 fire energy. And then Welder, of course, allows you to attach up to 2 fire energy to one of your Pokemon and draw some cards. So I think that that would just be so much better to add into this deck. And like going back to like the Snorlax VMAX, it's a colorless attacker that you can throw a couple energy on with Welder, and then of course there's different Cinderaces you can go with. There's like Arcanine. There is stuff out there to make this deck better. There is Rare Candy. There is just a lot of really solid cards out there. And that's why I feel like this deck is just the one that has the most potential because there is this incredible fire engine out there that can make this deck actually pretty good. And now we have cards like Quick Ball, Evolution Incense, we have Rare Candy. You can even go with like Green's Exploration, like that type of route with this deck if you want to. You can add Rosa in as well. It's really cool. I mean, there's a lot of cards you can add into this deck to make it better. There's even the Ninetales that allows you to bring up Pokemon with its ability. Of course, if you play that, you can't play the greens, obviously. But there's just a lot of stuff you guys can add with this deck, and I feel like that's why this deck really stands out to me as like the dark horse of the 3. The Rillaboom, obviously, it already has decks springing up that you can build with it. Like with the ability Rillaboom, and Teleon, the ability one's already seeing some love. Whereas this one, like, you could add so much to this deck and just make it better. Now, obviously, the gameplay that I got isn't like the most competitive thing ever. It's not the greatest thing ever, but I feel like it just really showcases that this deck could be better with the right set of cards. I mean, you add in just like the fire engine. Oh my God, puppy, quit, quit, puppy. She's squeaking her toy. Anyway, also there's Heat Factory. There's a Stadium card you can throw in there, so that means you guys. Yeah, right here. I screw up horribly. Yeah, right there. I think I whiff here. Yeah, yeah. I bring up that tag team GX that I just completely whiffed there. I think I screwed up too. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm just trying to discuss to you guys what you can do here. Um, you can just I lost my train of thought because I messed up in my puppy who's biting my hand and it hurts. So yeah, this deck just has a whole lot of untapped potential, guys. This deck has a whole lot you can do to it, and you can make it so much better. And that's why I feel like this deck, if you do pick it up, it's going to need a little more work than the others. But the cards are actually not too hard to get, and you guys can make this your own thing. Uh, it's definitely like you can definitely do some cool stuff with it. So, like if you enjoy Cinderace, you love Cinderace, and you want to build a deck around Cinderace, guys, there is some cards out there that can make this awesome. Welder, Fire Crystal, Fiery Flint, the like the searching cards that came out in this set, along with Pokemon Communication, Pokegears. You can run Rare Candy to speed up the deck a little more. There's stuff out there to work, and that's why this video is going to be more or less just telling you, go out, get these cards. I promise you, it will make the deck better. Look at all the Cinder Aces in the set, and figure out which one you really like, which one you want to play, which one you think is going to be the best option for how you want to play the deck. And there's also tag team Pokemon you guys can run if you really want to get like into like a crazy fire deck going. There's options, guys. There is definitely options. By no means is this deck the worst of the three, because there is amazing cards you guys can add to this deck to make it better. So that's kind of my message with this video is, each deck is good in their own way. Each of them has their own thing going for them. This one, just because maybe it's not the most competitive looking deck, or maybe because it fell short in our theme deck battles, doesn't mean that it's bad. It doesn't mean just count it out immediately. I think there is some cool stuff out there you can do with it. So yeah, that's just my take on things. As I bring up a tag team GX again, and we're going to hit that bad boy for 320 damage, because that's what we do here. Boom. So yeah, there we go. Boom. Also, another thing I would actually recommend if you're going to play this deck is going to probably be Lysander Labs or Fabla, just because I know that Metal Frying Pan on the new Zacian decks are going to be pretty big, and so that would be a good way to kind of counteract those as well. That's what I would recommend as on top of that. So I think, yeah, my opponent just concedes here, so that's just kind of like my message for you guys is don't count this deck out, because there's a lot you can do with it. But thank you guys all so much for watching. Take care. I love you, and this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care, guys.
Don't forget to like, follow, and obey.